afternoon, everyone. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you coming in from all around the world. Today, we are going to be doing a deep dive on Master Layouts 11. Now, this is part of a Master Layout series that I started, probably like 3 to 4 months ago. And every week, with the exception of skipping a few weeks here and there for some other reasons, on Thursday, we do a deep dive into the next Master Layouts die set in our series. If you're unfamiliar with our Master Layouts die sets, these are dies that work together to create card layouts for you. And because the dies layer together to give you perfect, crisp shadow layers, your cards always have that professional, finished look. And these die sets can mix and match with each other to create a variety of other options for you. So we're all the way up to 11 today, and I'm excited about this one because I have a few ideas. We're going to be focusing mostly on stenciling today with this die set. But this die set, this came out a couple of years ago. It was one of the first postage die sets on the market. We came out with this. It's a 4-up postage die set, and we had a lot of fun with it. In fact, my friend Jennifer McGuire and I did a video on this when it first came out together a couple of years ago, and it was really fun to show you guys a bunch of different ways to use it. But since then, we've come out with lots of other postage type dies and postage stamps that coordinate with them. So we're going to be using a little bit of that today as well, but I'm going to show you other ways that you can use them too. So before we get started, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Hey, happy craft afternoon, everybody. Postage dies.
Yeah, postage dies.
Postage dies are a wonderful, double dip in the whole concept of stamps.
Absolutely. That's true. That's very true.
You know, you go back and forth. It's just all together in one space. You're just covering two worlds.
And I am looking for one of the stamps.
Where did you go?
I'm over here looking for something.
Am I the one who's taking over now?
No, you're good. You're good. Oh gosh, and I have to tell you guys that Tom and I just put the finishing touches on a stamp set that's coming out this summer that Tom loves so much that he's agreed to do a video on it, right?
I can't wait. It's wonderful.
Yeah, so Tom's going to be on this side of the camera, and I'm going to be on in the dead space for sure this summer, at least one time.
Yes, it's made for people like me too.
It is, absolutely. Very fun. But this is what I was looking for, this stamp set, which is our postage cards and more. I'm going to be using this one today, but I'm going to be using mostly layering stencils for the rest of these cards. I'm really excited about this. And Tom, will you be back later with a word of the day?
I will be. I have 2 related words of the day.
2 related words.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's going to be fun. All right, well, let's get into the binder. Now, for those of you that are new, each time I do a Master Layouts die set, I upload 2 documents onto our blog under the templates and charts that you can download and print on your home printer so that you can create a binder along with us. The 2 for Master Layouts 11 are already up. I uploaded them early this morning for those of you that want to print them. And this is what the binder looks like. So I am on my second binder. We're on Master Layouts 7 through 12 here. This is my second binder. My first binder contains 1 through 6. And you can always go to the playlist for the Master Layout series to watch all of these, depending on which die sets you have, to get these layout ideas. And you know what? It's even good to watch a layout set that you don't have, because a lot of the card ideas could translate to another layout set in different ways. And I also bring in other layout sets into these videos so that, for example, today I'm going to be bringing in Master Layouts 2 and Master Layouts 7. So if you already have those, even if you don't have 11, you're going to be able to get some ideas on how to use those, and maybe you can put your own twist on that. So there is a cover sheet that you can download, and this QR code will always take you to that spot on the blog so you can download the next sheets in the series. This way you don't have to fumble around the website trying to find the next ones. And then inside we have all of the sheets for all of the different die sets that we've worked on so far and all of the ideas that we've come up with. And this was the last one we did, which was Master Layouts 10, our slimline, which is the big slimline. Today, we're working on Master Layouts 11. So this sheet is available for you to download. It's the Master Layouts die sizing sheet. And it's got all of the sizes here of all of the dies that come in the pack. And then you can also download this, which is the Master Layouts 11 layout idea sheet. And these are just 4 ideas that you can do with the Master Layouts die sets. So I put these on here. These are just suggestions. Today we're going to use some inspiration from here, but we're also going to use some different things. We're going to switch it up a little bit, which I like to do because then you have even more ideas. And then these are our tri-cuts. So these are the pieces that are cut out. I've placed them in a large stamp pocket, and I just used my label maker to put Master Layouts 11 on here. These are great to have so that if, for example, let's say you wanted to use Master Layouts, this is Master Layouts 9, and you were thinking, well, you know, no, let me go with a bigger one. Master Layouts 8. Okay, so here's our 5x7 Master Layouts. And maybe you wanted to kind of get an idea of how big this would look, this postage would look, on the Master Layouts 8 die set. Maybe you had this one and you wanted to see how it would look with maybe a little outline in here and then going across with those different rainbow stripes. So having these pieces cut out and ready to go really allows you to mix and match the Master Layout sets together. So that's why we always do our tri-cuts, the ones that we try out, and I always store them right behind the sizing sheet on my Master Layouts binder. So I'm going to put these back because we don't need these today. And then I want to show you what some of these designs look like in real life done with cardstock. So I like to do at least as many as we have on this Master Layout sheet, but sometimes I do a little twist, which I did here on these. So the first ones I have is this one here, which is a little bit similar to this, except the postage stamp, the postage die cut is here. Instead, I just used the window, and then I used this as a little centerpiece. Now, believe it or not, we have stamps this small. Let me see if I can find one for you. So, for example, you know, here's a stamp set called So Many Sentiments. You might want to put It's the Little Things, right? It's the Little Things. And then maybe you'll have like a baby set. You could use the different baby elements from our April showers. Let me get that set and just show you what I mean here. So wouldn't that be cute to do this with these baby images? You could put a little onesie in this window. You could put the little bassinet, not a bassinet. What is that, Tom? A stroller kind of thing. In here, you could put the little, oh my gosh, it's been so, yeah, the baby carriage. And then this is like the mobile, right? Isn't that what they're called? Mm-hmm. You could put that here. You could put the little jumper right in here, or even the shower or the stork, you know, you could put them in here and then have the greeting say, It's the Little Things. And then when you open it up, you can use the greeting that means so much. And maybe you could put the stork on the inside with it that means so much. So it's the little things that mean so much. That would be such a cute little baby card in those 4 windows. So I'm just I'm spitting bars here, right? I'm just like, just kind of like giving you some ideas that would work, but we're going to actually make cards today. But that would be a really cute one. This one would be great, and I'm going to make this card today because I want to go back to the design that we did with our patterned paper, and I want to use this design with these. I think 2 of these kind of going in opposite directions with a greeting here in the center would be divine. So I definitely want to make this card today. And then this features Master Layouts 7. So you can see how these different pieces will coordinate with our mini slimline set. So that's another idea. Now here, I've got the postage one 4 up, and then this little strip sentiment down here. I am going to do some 4 up postage cards today because I think that this layout is really cool. And you may or may not have noticed that because we have this die in the set, and we also have this die in the set, let me pull them out of the tri-cut so you can see what I'm talking about. This one, you can make your own stencil. So this will go right over that, and it will create stencil blocks for you if you want to make your own stencil. Now, I'd make mine out of vellum if I made it. This way I could see that I'm positioning it well, but that works perfectly together with that. But this will also cut out four window panes or window pieces that fit perfectly inside of here, so you could do kind of a raised postage idea with this. All right. So then this one, I mean, this was kind of a flex here. I was just in the mood last night and I wanted to see how this looked. Now, I have to tell you, I love this layout so much. It's a little time consuming, but I want to use it today. I want to make a card with this today because I think this would be amazing to stencil on. And once again, this is our mini slimline. So this is the, this is like 3 1/4 by 6 1/4, which fits perfectly in those check size envelopes. So mini slimline cards go for the same postage as our A2 cards. So I love making those because it doesn't cost anybody anything extra to have that interesting design. All right, so we've got our tri-cuts. Now, somebody asked a question, well, writing down on the back of the tri-cuts the number of layers in case there's people like me who misplace or mix it. Yeah, I mean, that's a great idea. You can definitely do that right on the back of these, you know, what set they go to. Why not? I mean, sometimes when you have a couple of them out all at once, you definitely could lose lose where, you know, what you were doing. So, but these binders are great because they are really, really helpful in organizing your die sets. Some people actually keep the full die set with the binder. So here's the Master Layouts 11 die set that I have in the package. Some people actually just keep that right back here in their binder with the, you know, all the inspiration sheets. This way, as they're paging through, they don't have to look for their die set. They can just pull it right out of the binder and go. So that's something you could consider too. That's what really helps making these binders organized. And I'll show you, if you want to do the front shot, Tom, I'll show you that I just put mine right here on my shelf and they're nestled snugly there. This is a calyx unit from IKEA. You could fit probably 6 of those in here. I'm thinking 6. And I mean, it'll be a long time before we have enough master layouts where you're going to need 6. But you never know. I mean, this is a popular product and people really do love the way that these create cards. So we're just going to keep going with them. Right now we're up to 20. So that's 3 binders at least. 4, starting on the 4th binder. All right, so what we're going to do now is we are going to start by using this big postage die here. So I actually have, I was going to cut one, but I don't have to because I actually have some pre-cut already. So I want to show you, maybe I will pre-cut some. Yeah, I'm going to pre-cut the big one. So this is the postage one. I'm going to pull the dies out so you can see what they look like. So this is a big postage plate. That's a lot of steel there. It's a nice heavy plate. And this cuts out this design. And then this is the window die that just cuts the windows. Now, one thing I did with this to make it easy to line up is I made this plate itself an A2 size. So this way, if you wanted to cut 4 windows out of the front of an A2 card, it would be very easy to center them because you would just be lining this up right on top of an A2 panel. So I'm going to grab an A2 panel here. I'm actually going to cut one. So let's cut that right now. We need 5.5 by 4.25, which is the A2 panel. Let me put my glasses on so I can see. By 4.25. All right. And then that is going to fit this perfectly. You can see that's an A2 size plate with an A2 size piece of cardstock. So now what I'm going to do here is I am going to cut that out using my Intracut. Trying to peek at the comments at the same time. Now I'm going to use a little piece of masking magic to secure this in place so that this, you know, this leftover panel can be used for a different card. So I'm going to use the masking magic. Masking magic is our low-tack tape, so it holds everything in place, but it doesn't tear your cardstock when you peel it off. And then I'm going to cut that out using my Intracut. And a big shout out to Brianne Loveland. I believe Brianne is here. I thought I saw something go by. So Brianne, we thank you so much for being here. If you need a link to anything, you can just tag Brianne and she will help you find it. And then she also is the inventor of the amazing inkstand. And I'm going to use my inkstands today. I got my new black ones, but they also come in white. And she will be linking her inkstand as well. These are so helpful when you're ink blending cardstock. All right, so let's pull this off. So you can see now I've got a perfect A2 size window that will fit on the front of any card. You could wood grain this to make it look like, you know, a wooden window frame, or you can do pattern paper ideas on it, whatever you want. And then these windows I am going to use today in one of my cards. All right. So I'm going to actually probably be working on 2 cards at the same time here. We'll see how this goes. But these, what fall out of here, perfectly fit on top, leaving that nice little edge around the outside of these, of this postage grid die. All right. Now, what I'm going to do first is I am going to find my sticky mat here because I'm going to do some ink blending. Now, I'm wondering if I'll just do one at a time. So with this one, I am going to use some Masking Magic strips on this because I want to do the dividing lines. I've seen some people do postage cards without putting the dividing lines. Now you could put the dividing lines with a stencil, so you could use this. It's just a little hard to see unless I cut this out of vellum. So if you don't have any vellum, or if you don't want to be bothered cutting it out with vellum, you can use the 1/4 inch Masking Magic strips because they're easy to see through. And I'm going to position those. Sorry if my head's in the way. I just want to make sure that this is straight. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to put that over the center of that, and I'm going to do it in this direction too. I've seen people do their postage grids and not do the dividing lines. And that's a choice, and that looks pretty. But when you put these dividing lines in, that's what really makes it look like postage. So I would suggest that you at least try a couple cards this way, where you put these dividing lines in there. All right. Now that looks pretty good. Now I'm also going to use the 1/8 of an inch Masking Magic strips, and our Masking Magic strips come in 3 sizes in one pack. So if you get 1 pack of the strips, you get all of the sizes. The 1/8 of an inch, I'm going to go around the perimeter. So I'm just going to block off, and I'm just going to kind of look and see See how, let me zoom in here because I want you to see this up close. Let's see here. So the way I'm going to see where to do it is I'm just going to like hold it like that and just like move it down until those little edges disappear. And once the little pokey things disappear, that's where I'm going to put it. And then I'm going to do the same thing on all 4 sides. All right, so I'm looking at it, going down, 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 and there they go. They disappeared. So that's a good spot to put that. I'm going to do the sides too. This sticky mat is super, well, let me say this. It's not as sticky as some of the other sticky mats on the market, but it is sticky. It's very sticky and it will hold your cardstock, but your cardstock will not tear when you pull it up, which is really nice. So I'm kind of making my own little stencil using the Masking Magic strips. There we go. Alrighty. So let's start with we'll do, I don't want to do soft stone. I want to do sea glass for this. I like the way sea glass looks as a little background to create a little border around each box. Now the reason that I'm going to do that is because if I don't do that, then when I pull the Masking Magic off, any areas that wouldn't have the stencil design are just going to blend into the side and it's not going to look like a box. So we want to have a box around the whole thing to kind of segment out each rectangle.
Question, what's the best way to clean the sticky mat?
Only with water. Just with water. It'll be messy. This is a new one that I grabbed. It'll be messy. Like it'll look stained, but once you clean it with water, then the ink won't transfer anymore and you don't have to worry about, the ink getting where you don't want it. I'm just cleaning this blending brush. This has a ton of Tranquil Teal on it, and I don't want to go that dark, so I'm just taking a little bit of rubbing alcohol and just cleaning as much excess off as I can. That should be pretty good. All right, so I'm going to ink this up with some sea glass ink, and I'm using my ink stand. And then I'm going to just gently, very light-handed, I'm just going to add a little bit of shading around the perimeter of each of these boxes. Now I know it's grabbing pretty heavy on the ends of the Masking Magic. That's okay. I just want to add a little bit of shading around the boxes so that when I pull this Masking Magic off, there's clear definition.
Okay, question, is this the die set that has a coordinating stencil?
This,
I guess the postage.
no, this is not. Master Layouts 14 and Master Layouts 15 have a coordinating stencil. This one, if you want to do a coordinating stencil, you'd have to make it yourself using the die in the set that kind of creates that for you. Or you can do what I'm doing right here, which is what I'm featuring, that we're making kind of a stencil look out of Masking Magic strips.
And it's okay to clean the sticky mat with the tidy towel?
Yes, as long as you're only using water. I wouldn't use anything other than water because stamp cleaners, things like that, will take the sticky off and then it will be kind of useless. All right, now for this design, I am going to use a layering stencil. Let me find the one that I want to use here. I pulled a couple of them out. So I think for this one, I'm going to use our Modern Hydrangea. This is a 3-piece stencil, the Modern Hydrangea. I'll just leave it right there so you can see the name. And it is a beautiful stencil. I'm going to put this right here like that. And then I'm going to make my hydrangea flowers purple. So let's start with light lilac. And then for layer 2, we'll go with medium lilac. So we'll start with the light lilac. Let me find a blending brush that's suitable. I think this one might be suitable. Let's just give it a little rub here and make sure there's nothing too dark on it. That looks good. Okay, so I'm starting with the light lilac. I'm inking up my blending brush real well. And then I am going to blend these with that light lilac. Right into that blue. Don't worry about it. Purple and blue work beautifully together. Now you may want to consider what color you're doing your little borders around the perimeter and coordinate your ink that you're going to stencil with it. What I mean by that is if you wanted to do the perimeter in purple, say you wanted to use this color to go around the outside of the boxes, you might not want to do yellow flowers because yellow and purple will make brown. But purple and blue make periwinkle, right? So you can't really go wrong by, you know, mixing a little bit of blue and purple together. It's never going to look terrible. So just be a little bit conscientious of what colors you use when you're doing this kind of thing with any postage stencils. All right, so that's our light lilac layer. Let's pull that off. Okay, now we're going to do our second layer, and we're going to use the medium lilac. So let me line all this up. Just take a second and do it right. Okay. And then we'll go with medium lilac. Now I'll tell you, another thing that you can do is if you have trouble lining up layering stencils, all you have to do, it's super cheap and easy, is to take a little bit of washi tape and create a corner here like this. And you can do another one on the other side if you want. Let me make sure that this is positioned right. I think it's close enough. You can do one right here too. Just find some bright washi tape to use or pixie tape, whatever, and create a corner like that. Then your next stencil is just going to lay right in those corners, right? Super cheap, super easy, and you know, you could do it on cardstock, whatever you have. You don't have to do it on a sticky mat. You could do it on a piece of cardstock, and then you'll always know where to line them up. All right, so now I'm going with the medium lilac. I've showed that before, but, you know, I make so many videos, and there's ideas that I mention in my video, and they kind of like, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. And then I even forget to use them. Because like that idea in that video came and went and everybody forgets. So hopefully that's a little tip that you can use out there if you struggle to line them up. Okay. This stencil is called Modern Hydrangea, right there. All right, now I'm going to pull this layer off. Okay. And then, if my theory works, I just line them up into those holes there, and we are good to go with our greens. So now with our greens, I'm going to use the spruces. Let me find them real quick. The spruces are good because they are already a bluish green, so we're mixing a little bit of bluish green, like a green that has a hint of blue, versus a hint of yellow, like jelly bean or fresh asparagus. So this is going to make it easy to blend. Now I have to find another blending brush that will work. I think this one will work. Okay. So I'm starting with the light spruce. We'll get that in there. And also remember to do clockwise and counterclockwise. I always say wax on, wax off, you know, this way and then this way. This way it makes it easy to get into both edges, because sometimes you might look at it and go, why can't I get the edges on that? And it's just because of the direction the brush is going in. So do both directions. Make it very easy for you to get good coverage. Okay, so there's our light spruce. Now, I don't have a third layer of this stencil, but that's okay. Instead, I'm going to use one of our baby blending brushes here, and I'm going to use medium spruce. And I'm just going to take some of that medium spruce, and I'm going to just do it right up against the bottom of some of these. You can also go dark spruce if you want. Might be a little bit darker. Just to add a little extra shading in there. Let's see what the dark spruce would look like, because I think I went pretty heavy-handed on the light spruce. Plus, there might have been a little medium spruce on the brush. So let's see what the dark spruce looks like. It's very dark, but I think it might make it stand out a little bit more. And I'm using the same blending brush. Oh yeah. And remember, all of our inks lighten up a bit after they're stamped, or after they're, well, stamped or stenciled. So they're going to lighten up to the color on the lid. It's just like paint, you know, like when you do painting in your house and you're using a latex paint and you first put it on and it maybe looks a little blotchy or streaky, and then it looks kind of dark, and then everything dries up and it gets real smooth. And the color looks right. Well, that's kind of what happens with our ink too. It's got a smoothing agent, so you'll see it smooth quite a bit as it dries. I just feel like that just adds a little something by having that little bit of darkness in there. All right, now we can pull this stencil off. Okay, so now that's pretty, and that's what I see a lot of people do with the postage stamps, but watch how this comes to life when you peel the Masking Magic strips off. That's kind of the thing that really creates that postage look. So you get those edges that are so nice and crisp. We'll go this way. So now already it's starting to look better, right? Now watch what happens when I pull these off. This is my favorite part. Look at that. Isn't that so pretty? That's when it really looks nice, and that's why I love using these big stencils to create postage cards. Now, to take it off the sticky mat, you're just going to roll the mat, and then you see how it's like popping off all by itself. Can you see why now we needed to do the blue box, though, around the outside? Because we wouldn't be able to see, like right here, that would all just blend in there, and you wouldn't get the crisp edge. Yes, the peel and reveal is so fun. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just clean this mat with my tidy towel. It'll stay stained, and I'm not going to worry about it. It's just going to take off the excess ink. You know, anything that might be... So you could see some of it's coming off, but some colors are stainier than others. Like you can see this pink that was on there, whatever I was doing there. And also, even that blue, you've got a little staining there. Red is horrific. But, you know, I'm not going to stop using red on my sticky mat just because it stains the mat. Okay, so now we can do a couple different things. We could use Master Layouts 2 here. Actually, let me clean these stencils so I don't inadvertently make a mess. Let's see. Let's see here. We are known for our flowers, Twyla. We do lots of flowers in this company. It's kind of our thing. It's kind of my thing. And I really like to create stamps that I like to use, because if I create stamps that I'm not into, I'm not going to be using them, and I'm not going to be like giving you much inspiration. So I do like little animal stamps, and we do have little animal stamps in our collection. I like scene building stamps, and I like like silhouette stamps. So you'll see a lot of that in our collection. We do have some fun stamps coming up in our next kit that debuts next Tuesday night, which I think you guys are going to love, that are they lean toward masculine stamps. Let's just put it that way. Okay, so now what I can do here is I can use Master Layouts 2 if I want. Let me see if I have that here, and I do. So Master Layouts 2, we've done extensive videos on that. This would create a nice little shadow layer around there, and you would also see the stitching. So this is the stitch die for Master Layouts 2. So this is one that coordinates fairly nicely. It's a little bigger on the sides than it is on the top and the bottom. If you want a bigger border, you could use the larger rectangle from Master Layouts 2 and create a larger border. So if you wanted to do that, I might do that. I might create just a larger border. And I know this is going to freak everybody out, but I might not use black on this card. I know. It's crazy, right? I might use Wild Wisteria instead. So I'm grabbing my purple scraps and let me grab a piece of Wild Wisteria. I think that's going to look so pretty together. So let's cut out one of these and see how it looks. Because I feel like that just might give it a little pop of something. I know. I know, Liz. What? Don't anybody call 911. I promise I'll be okay. I just, every once in a while, I gotta do it. I gotta try. So let me just cut this real quick. Everybody's shocked. Oh no, no black. Okay. So, but I think that's gonna look really pretty, and it's gonna look very soft. So we'll give it a try. It'll just be a little different for me and all of us, but we'll make it work. Okay, now I do think that that's going to be pretty. And I did want to show you that Master Layouts 2 will give you a nice look as a background for that. Now I'm going to use just plain white to make my card base for this card. So I'm using some of our just plain layering white, and I'm going to cut a tent fold style, which is 4 1/4 by 11. And then I'm going to score that at the 5.5 inch mark. So let me put this away, and I'm going to get my scoreboard. Here she is. And then we're going to add a couple little postage elements onto this and a greeting, and this card will be done. And I think it's a nice 4-up postage look. And I love that it has like that little postage edge to it. Because you can do 4-up cards that are just plain, but I like for this one with the postage that we're going to do to have the little edge. And I do like, you know, that separation there. Check. Yes, check my blood sugar, make sure I'm okay. That's funny. But it's true, you guys know me. All right. This is good. This is like, you know, we're allowed to step outside of our comfort zone a little bit here and there. It's good for us. Right? Right? Okay. And then we're going to stamp some postage elements, and I'm going to do them with an acrylic block. So, you know, just to stress everybody out a little bit, I'm going to use this tiny acrylic block and some black ink. And I always like to have a tiny little piece of cardstock close by just to check the stamping before I actually go in and stamp it. So the stamp set that I'm going to use is the Postcards and More. That's this one here. And I'm going to use just a couple of these little, like 30 cents, 5 cents, 60 cents. I'm going to use a couple of those. So let's pick up that 30 cents and see how it looks. And I'll just check it. That looks pretty good. So I think I'll put that one down here. There we go. 30 cents. Love that. It already, you know, immediately starts to look more like stamps, right? Okay. And then we're going to do the 5 cents. Let's check that and make sure that looks good. And that does look good. It's a little crooked, so it's a little scary to stamp. Crooked on the block. I'll put this one right up here. That looks good. Hard to see, but not terrible. You'll be able to see it better when I take my high quality pictures. And then I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to add this one. This is, what does this say? 60 cents. So let's do that one. We'll do that one up here in this corner. All right, and then I'm going to do like forever, because we have a forever on here that will work. We also have some other things. We have priority. That's kind of cute. First class, with love, forever. Let's do forever. Just because that is very, that's priority. That is very stampy, like postage stampy. Yep, that looks good. All right, and we'll do that one. We could do it sideways like this, just to make it different from that. There we go. Okay. And now, you know what? I'm not too worried about that because I'm going to slap my greeting right over that. And you're not even going to be able to see that. And it's okay if one of them doesn't have it on there, because this one's really busy. We probably could put 5 cents down here. Yeah, let's do that. We'll put it down here and then we'll cover that up with the greeting. Let's do 5 cents down there. It's probably where I should have done it initially. Okay, we'll do it right here. There we go. Better than horrible. And then for the greetings, I've got lots of greetings pre-cut from our thoughtful flowers and our elegant greetings and graceful greetings. I just went on a binge of creating. So I could do Thinking of You, which would be lovely in the center there. We could just put that right there in the center. That would be very pretty, very elegant card. So why don't we do that? And then I will use some foam squares on this one to pop it up. And that'll cover that because I didn't like that. I remember when postage stamps were very cheap too. Not 5 cents, but I do remember when they were very cheap. Yes, it's gotten a little crazy, that's for sure. But you know, I mean, if you think about it in the big picture, it's not terrible to send something to somebody that they're really going to treasure. And it's going to mean a lot to them. So it's worth it. But forever stamps are kind of a blessing too. If you can pick up a bunch of forever stamps, you can really save down the line. I'm kind of sorry I didn't buy like 1 million of them when that concept first came out, because they were much cheaper than they are now, but they'll never be as cheap as they are now. So you can always grab a bunch of them. And the post office has such cute stamps. I get the postal catalog with all the cute stamps that they have. It's really kind of enjoyable to see what they have. And I always have to buy a sheet or two just to keep them in my stash. All right, that should be good enough. Good enough for the demo, right? So we'll peel off these little liners. And we'll pop that right in the center. I am going to use my tweezers here for positioning. Make sure that a view looks straight. And it does. Okay, so there's our first card using Master Layouts 11. Now you certainly could embellish this with some rhinestones or pearls or whatever you want. If you wanted to bring a little more black into it, which I never think is a bad idea, you could use the black pearls to kind of jazz it up a little bit. Should we see how that looks? Let's do a couple real quick. Why not? Let's see how it looks. So if we did one there, and maybe one that's a little bit bigger up there. I could move this one to down here and just do like 3 of them just to accent a little bit. We could do 5. We could put 1 over here and then, you know, 1 down here. But I think this is good. We'll just go with the 3 for now. And let me get some glue. Okay. I feel like I'm doing this backwards. Normally I swap hands and I use the jewel picker with my other hand and the glue, because I feel like squeezing the glue doesn't have to be as accurate as placing the gem. Okay. There we go. That just gives that little touch of black that I think we're all craving. So there's our first card. Now, for the next card, and I'll be bringing all these back in so you'll be able to see them. For the next card, I wanted to do something with the pieces that fell out of this. All right. So let me find those pieces. Oh, here they are over here. Now, the way I'm going to lay these out to make it easy is I'm going to put this down here, right? And then I've got the 4 pieces. I'm just going to pop them in onto the sticky mat, like that. Then I'm going to peel this off. So these are perfectly spaced now to create a window. Does that make sense to everybody? I sure hope so. So now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to get that turquoise sea, or that turquoise brush, and I'm going to put a little sea glass on here. And I am going to go around the perimeter of each of these boxes again. All right, so just a little bit around the perimeter, just to create some separation, because this is going to go onto a white postage piece, but we're going to pop these up, so this card is going to have a nice pop to it. So you can see I'm like creating that little defined line around the edge, which doesn't look like much now, but you'll see we're going to need it when we place these pieces. Plus it gives us that little mist of color around the outside, which I like. There we go. Somebody commented that my bracelet was annoying, this bracelet, because it made too much noise, so I have to switch it to the other wrist, but now everybody's going to notice it. But I can't do it myself, so I got to get Tom to help me, and I forgot to ask him this morning before we went live. Okay, so now we've got all of that. Just, you can see it's got that like sharp little line going around the perimeter. Now we're going to use another coloring stencil, or layering stencil, I should say. We're going to use the Primrose, the Whimsical Primrose, and I got to find that here. So that's this one right here. This one does have a die that you can cut out too, but we're not going to use that today. We're just going to use the stencil. And this is a 4-layer stencil. So it's got 2 florals and 2 stems. And we want to make sure they're all facing the same way. So we want to do the big one first. So I'm going to place this big one right here like this. But I want to make sure before I commit that my stems are going to extend a little bit into that bottom box. And I think it will. It's going to look good. Maybe I'll move it down just a little bit, just to be safe. I'll move it down to here. Yeah, I'll do that. Maybe I'll get that whole flower in there. Or I could go this way and get a little bit of that one in there. Let's see how that looks. When I put this on top. Oh yeah, that'll look good. Because I'll get some greenery in here and a little bit in here. I want to make sure I have enough greenery. Maybe I'll bring it down just a little more. Yeah, I like that. I like that because I want to get the black centers in here of the flower too. All right, so I have that positioned where I want it. Now I'm going to use reds for this. I'm going to start with Coral Reef. So let me get my red blending brush, and I'm going to just brush off any color that might be on here from a previous run. What's going on? Everybody can hear okay? Oh, you can't hear the bracelet. I guess it's different for everyone. So I'm using Coral Reef. I'm going to go a little light-handed with it. You could also use sun-kissed coral here if you want. You might be able to hear it like that. I think that's what was the problem. And we'll get into this here. Quite a bit of this one. Okay. Now I feel pretty confident about lining this up, so I'm not going to do my little squarey thing, but I'm going to go with a brighter red, which is the red velvet. It's a deeper red than this Coral Reef. So there we go. We'll go to the next layer. This will be pretty easy to line up. Watch it take forever, because I said that. There we go. Thank goodness. All right. Okay. Now we're going with this deeper red in here. This is not as much contrast as the sun-kissed coral and the red. So if you like a ton of contrast, you might want to go with start with a lighter red like the sun-kissed coral. But I think this will look good. I hear more of the inkstand than I do the bracelet. And I love the sound of the inkstand, so there we go. Now we're going to go with layer 3, which is our greens. And let's see here. There we go. Put our greens on here. And I'm going to do the same greens as we did before. I'm going to start with the light spruce. And then I'm going to go with the medium spruce for the second color. I love the spruces. I also love jelly bean and fresh asparagus for leaves. And I think it's cool if you have tons of leaves in your layering stencils to mix them together. Because like in nature, you have pine trees with, you know, very vibrant green trees. So you can mix greens together really nicely. All right, so we've got that. And now we're going to do our final layer, which will add our darkness in there. I know this seems weird on this one because you see the leaf, the other part of the leaf actually isn't going to show. You might be looking at that going, wait a minute, that's like the same thing, but it's what it's supposed to do. All right, there we go. And then we'll go with the medium spruce for this. I definitely think this will be darker looking. We could add a little dark spruce in there if we want to, but I think this will be good. And then I'm going to add black in the center. Black onyx right in the center. Let me find my detail brush for that. I have a detail brush for black. That's this one right here. The detail brushes are really helpful because you can get into the tiniest areas. All right. And we'll pull this off. All right, so they look pretty good. Now I'm going to give that a moment just to set, just to dry a little bit. And I'm going to quickly clean these stencils. And people always ask, what are you cleaning the stencils with? I'm cleaning with a little bit of rubbing alcohol. You can put it in a spray bottle if you want to. There's two reasons I don't. I'll tell you my two reasons, and then you can decide what's right for you. The first reason is because I'm a little sensitive. And having alcohol in a mist, you know, anytime there's a mist, it's going to go like right in your face and up your nose. So if you're a little sensitive, you might not want to put it in a spray bottle. The other reason I don't put it in a spray bottle is because I am messy. And I would very likely spray onto my stencil and end up spraying onto my project and ruining my ink. So those are my two reasons why I just leave it in the bottle. But for those of you that have more control, you're less messy, you're not sensitive, you know, a spray bottle works too. All right, I'm going to put these stencils away, and then we're going to turn this into a card. Now, remember, I said that right now you probably can't see the benefit of that little outline, but you will be able to see it a little bit more when we put it onto the white postage stamp. All right, so this is kind of fun, actually. Let me find my pieces that I pre-cut earlier. Let me see where they went. I just have the tiniest pile here, yet I'm still losing everything. So let's see where they went. Did I move them somewhere else? Okay, give me a sec. Here they are. All right. So now you can see when I place these on top, you see how they stand out now from the rest a lot more. Like you can barely see the blue when it was on the mat. But when you put them onto this cut out piece in white, then it really makes a difference. And this is very modern looking. Almost like you would see like 4 things like that on like picture frames. All right. So let me clean this because you could see now I'm staining this up pretty well, but that's all right. Again, I don't mind. A stained mat is a loved mat, in my opinion. But what I thought we could do with these, instead of just stamping them or placing them right on, we could pop them up with foam squares to give us some dimension in our postage. Just a totally different look. So before I do that, I am going to add a little bit of postage detail on here. So I'm going to get that Postcards and More stamp set again. You can also use, we have another stamp set called Spring Friends, Brienne. I think that's what it's called. I think Brienne probably knows what I'm talking about, but it's a tiny little 4x4 stamp set with dies, and it has some postage elements too. So we do postage elements here and there in some of our other stamp sets. All right, so but we'll use this one again. Don't be afraid to try your sticky mat. Okay, so this is 30 cents. And we'll just put this down here. There we go. 30 cents. Yeah, you know, Master Layouts Day, we always make a lot of cards, but there's always so many ideas and so many things to talk about. So why not, right? And I think I'm going to put my greeting down in this area. Depends, though. I don't want to lose too much greenery, so we'll see. So this is going to go up here in this corner. Sorry if my head got in the way. I just wanted to make sure that it was straight. And I'm already so inky. I've gotten myself so inky already. But this is kind of a fun stamp to use. Or fun stencil to use. And you can also do your numbers sideways too, because a lot of postage stamps have that as well. Let's do that. Why not? Switch it up a little bit, make it interesting. And I feel like they don't look like postage stamps until you get them on that like ripply postage thing. Now, before I do anything with this, I'm just going to look at some of my greetings here. I do have a thankful greeting that's nice and big and long that might work really nicely here, that we could put right across like that. And maybe we wouldn't need any postage down there. Let me move all this up. Or we could put that more in the center, kind of off like that, and then we could add one of these other things like special delivery. We could add forever. We could add first class. We could do thankful with love. Forever thankful. I don't know. I feel like something needs to go down there. Let's do first class. Let's just put first class down there. The other thing we could do, okay, I'm going to show you something else that we could do. Because I just feel like it's empty, right? So here's something else that we can do. This is where my brain goes when I'm alone in the middle of the night. We can get that stencil and we can add something down there. And I think you're going to like this. I think you're going to say, yeah, that's exactly what it needed. We can just add like a little red down here. Now see this? I'm going to just block that off with a Post-it note right here so that that doesn't get messy. And then I'm going to get my sun-kissed coral, my coral reef. I'm going to clean the brush real quick, because I feel like the reason why I'm trying to push something in there is because there's nothing in there. So let's just do a light mist of coral reef. And we'll add the second layer on top of red velvet. And again, I'm just going to protect my work right there. There we go. when we put these together. Now we could just put a regular bit of postage in there somewhere. Or we may not even need to. We could put something up here. But you see, it just makes like more flowers coming in. And I think that makes a difference. I think we're gonna like the finished product once we get it onto the other die cut piece. Okay. Now, let's pop these up and see how they look. Because if I put this greeting right here, like that, then we probably could use something right there. All right, I'll be brave. I'll be brave, and I will do something there. Let's see. Let's do with love. Thankful with love. There's always room for love. And that'll just make it look more like a stamp. It doesn't matter which side you put things on. There we go. That'll just make it look a little more stampy-ish. Can you write that word down, Tom? Stampy-ish?
Yes.
We'll hold on to that word for another day. All right, now let's pop these up. So we're going to use a couple of foam squares on each. And we're going to use the tweezers to line it up because I think that's going to help me. These stencils are called Whimsical Primrose. So we want to line that up so that it is... I don't know if the tweezers are helping or hurting. Sometimes they really help, and other times, I think it's because this isn't attached to anything yet. But I want to get it nice and centered. That looks pretty good. Okay, and you see how like the dimension really makes a difference. I love having it popped up like that. Okay. Oh, we have a new Pope, Tom. I see Pope comments coming in.
Yes, they've been coming in for some time.
Oh, yeah? Who's our Pope?
An American Pope.
Seriously?
Yeah, you've been missing quite a few. You'll have to go back and look at.
I've been missing all the chit chat.
Is it Pope Leo the 14th, I think?
Wow. That's surprising. That's great. I don't know. I wasn't, you know, I don't know enough about them to know who I would want, but American, that's cool. It's like the first one. Has there ever been an American
I
Pope?
think the first one.
Wow. All right.
Pope Leo the 14th.
Get on it, Leo. We're ready. Well, congratulations to Pope Leo. That's great.
Yes. They changed the smoke color, the potpourri.
The potpourri, right? There we go. So there is our 4 panels, and they're raised, which is so cool. Love that. I love that for us. And then we could make this thankful right across the center. That would be beautiful. Let's do that. That looks so nice. Should I brave another one without black? Is this that kind of day today, guys? Because I feel like a red panel would be very beautiful. Also, we could, that's sun-kissed. Hold on, I'm sorry, I know I'm not anywhere near the microphone. But, I just want to see what sun-kissed coral would, coral reef would look like. Look at that. Isn't that vibrant? Oh, man. I feel like we need that today in our life. We need that kind of color today. Let's do it. Let's do it. We can add black gems if we need to. But so far you're seeing how to use the fallout pieces, right? The little pieces that fell out. And, well, we could do a little black border. We could hand cut a little black border and put it on a coral reef. Let's do that. I see people getting very upset that I'm not using a little black border. So if we did a little black border, and I'm just gonna cut it by hand. Crazy, right? I'm just gonna cut it by hand because I don't really have the perfect die. Maybe that will be in an upcoming master layout set. But I think that is gonna look pretty good. Let's see what that looks like. All without glasses, right? I know body snatchers have taken Gina. That looks pretty good. It's not super thin, but I think it's nice. And then when we put that on that quarter sheet of coral reef, boom, we get all that beautiful color. So let's do that. I will get another sheet of coral reef. Coral reef is an underloved color, but it's beautiful. It's so vibrant. Okay, everybody agrees that that looks better, so I'm going to cut a 4 by 11, 4 1/4 by 11. And then we'll put that together. But I love that for this stamp set, for this die set rather, this master layout set, that you can create three-dimensional pop-up cards, like postage cards, three-dimensional, by those windows falling out and being able to do that, that they work so nicely together. Okay, so here we go. We've got our nice popped up little windows. And we'll put that on that little black panel that I cut out. I just eyeballed it. It's not perfect. It's better than horrible. It's not as thin as our master layouts give you, but it's pretty close. It's not bad. It'll work. And then I ran out of tape on that one. And then we'll put this right on the coral reef card base. Like that. Nice. And then, of course, we can always use a strip sentiment as well as one of these, using the strip sentiment dies that have the postage. But I think with this, we're just going to put this right in the center, and this will do it. Right in the center there. There we go. And once again, we'll add a few little black beads, black pearls. Let's see where we would put these. Maybe we don't even need them. We could put one there. Put one there.
Comment from Liz. She said, please let Gina know that these master layout videos playlists have been amazing and helpful. Thank you so much.
Oh, I'm so glad, Liz. Thank you. I'm grateful that you said that, and I'm really, grateful to be able to do it, because it's fun for me too, and it gives me new ideas for the future, for future cards and stuff. Do we need 5? I don't like 4s, but I like the 4 on that. I know what I'll do. Just in case Kathy Z's watching, because she said odd numbers only. I'm going to put one there too. I don't want to get in trouble. Kathy, if you're watching during your lunch, I'm trying to do it right. 3s or 5s, not 2s and 4s. There we go. There we go. Put this one here. I probably could have stopped at 3, but sorry if my head's in the way too. I don't think it is though.
I should do the word of the day here.
Oh yeah.
Because I had other words lined up, but one of our viewers, Debbie, said, Tom, we need a word of the day that describes that situation where Gina's not using black.
Oh, okay. All right, let's do it.
That unsettling planets flying out of their orbits, kind of. So when that happens, and Gina, for whatever reason, decides to forego the black layer, that is called black spacing. She's just simply giving some black spacing.
Like this one.
That is black spacing. Can't do it for too long. Something happens. So, word of the day.
That's the word?
Yeah, well,
All right.
I got more if you want more.
Yeah, I might want more in a little bit.
All right, then.
Might want more. Okay, so I'm going to clean these two stencils again real quick because I certainly did pull those back into the mix. Did Kathy say she's always watching? Oh my gosh. Love you, Kathy Z. She's so fun. Okay, so now I want to get into a couple mini slimline cards. So I want to try something. First I'm going to go light and then I'm going to go crazy. How's that? Does that sound like a good plan? Go light and then go crazy? So I'm going to cut out a Master Layout 7 die here. Let me find that. And we're going to use this again. We use this for our pattern paper. We're going to use it again today. And I have one done, so I'll do a second one, a second flower. This way we can, anybody who didn't watch that video will understand what I'm doing. And it's quick. It'll color in really quickly. My grammar. All right, so let me zoom out a little bit because I am super close. All right, there we go. So I'm going to cut a Master Layout 7. I'm actually going to cut 2 since I'm going to make 2 Master Layout 7 cards. Just to get this cutting out of the way. And welcome. It's good to see everybody here today on a Thursday crafternoon. Okay. So I've got one here. Let me cut one more. I need a bigger piece. I have a bunch of white here, but for some reason it was all folded incorrectly. And of course, you guys know I always get the stuff that is, folded wrong, has marks on it. They give me all that kind of stuff, which is fine. That's what I want. I ask for that. I always say don't throw anything away. I'll just use the stuff that we can't sell. But sometimes I actually need a good piece of cardstock. So I've got one here.
Stampy-ish.
Stampy-ish?
Stampy-ish. That goes with bluier.
Bluier. Yeah, it's a little more bluier. A little more bluier. With my grammar. Oh man, I'm not the one to go to check for typos because it all looks fine to me.
Yes, next Tuesday's the next release party.
Yes, sir. Next
Confirmed.
Tuesday. All right, so I've got 2 of these cut out. These are for our mini slimline cards, Master Layout 7. That video was just a few weeks ago. So if you missed that one, that's a good one to catch up on. And then I need 2 pieces of black because I'm going to cut those black layers. See, I am sticking with the black layers on these. Is this the right dye? Yes, it is. Yeah, I know. I know the right grammar. I just don't always use the right grammar. Sometimes I hear what comes out of my mouth, and I'm like, did I even... Am I even listening to what I'm saying? No, most of the time not. Sometimes I go back and rewatch something because I forget what I said or I forget a color that I used and I'm trying to update the description and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, do you even hear yourself the way you talk sometimes? So I apologize for that. Alrighty. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to, I'll cut out one more thing here while I have this set up. So I'm going to cut out the die that coordinates with this stamp, okay? But I'm not going to stamp it. There's coloring stencils that come with this set, and I am just going to use the coloring stencil only instead of actually stamping it first. And it gives it a completely different look. If you saw with our the video that I did with the pattern paper, it gives it a completely different look, and it's a really cool look. It's very graphic. It feels more like ephemera. And I'll show you what I mean for those of you that didn't watch that video. I actually am going to use my card that I made the other night. So normally this stamp looks like this when it's cut out. Let me find it here. It normally looks like this when it's cut and colored. See the details in there from the stamp, right? But in my card that I made on Tuesday night, you can see how different it looks when you don't use the stamp and you just use the stencils. It's a more clean graphic look, and it creates something that looks a little bit more like ephemera and a little bit less like a stamp design, because some ephemera is very simple. So I have one here already done, and I want to use that today. Got to find it in here. Here it is. So I have one already done, but I want 2 of these, so I just need to make one more. So I'm going to quickly make one more, and I'll refresh your memory. If I can remember what I used, I'm pretty sure I remember. I know it was gray. So I'm going to use my sticky mat here, and I'm going to use this as my guide, and I'm going to make sure that this is laid out the same way. There we go. So they're in the same position. And some people like this one better. Totally get that. No problem there. I love it. I think it's beautiful. But I'm just going for a certain look right now. So doing something just a little bit different. Now, I think I put the wrong, that's the wishful. Okay. So I'm going to start with the leaves on this. And I did use light spruce and medium spruce on this. So here are the stencils. And by having this in the same position, I can kind of figure out like where it goes on the image, and that'll make it easier for me to line it up here just by having one done. So the way I did it the other night was I actually had this one that was easy to line up because it had all the lines in it, and then I used that as my guide. Just makes it easy to figure out where to put it. So I'm going to do a very light mist of light spruce. Like that. Then I'm going to go in with a little bit of medium spruce just along the edges. So let me make sure I have the spruce brush and not the black brush. So, yep, I do. So I'm just going to give a little bit of that medium spruce down here along the bottom of each of these just to bring in a little bit of depth. Remember I told you we have a smoothing agent in our ink. Once it all dries up, it dries up to the proper color, the color that's on the lid, the color that it's supposed to be. And look how beautifully everything just blends together once it dries too. So if you are new here, that's something to consider if you're starting your ink collection, is how smooth that will end up looking once it dries. Alrighty. So now I'm going to do the next one, which is this down here. I'm going to do these all in Tranquil Teal. So we'll get that lined up. And we'll get Tranquil Teal. And that small Tranquil Teal brush that I was using the other night, that's this one. I had to get it on my finger first to make sure that I knew what I was talking about. Just in both directions, a quick swish. Okay. And then we're going to do the flower. Now the flower, I'm going to leave this out. The flower I did with soft stone first. So soft stone, let me line it up here. There we go. That's it. Is that it? That's not it. That's not it. First of all, do I have it positioned right? I'll find it. Give me a minute. There we go. Okay. So I did a switch of soft stone, and what's really nice about the soft stone is when it mixes with Tranquil Teal, you get a very gray blue, which is a color that we don't currently have in our collection, but I think it's a very beautiful color. So I'm going to take whatever gray is left on this brush, and I'm just going to go around the perimeter of this flower just to create that little bit of grayness. Now I'm going to go in with what's left on this brush, and I'm going to add that little bit of Tranquil Teal. Now I'm going to have to reload the brush because I'm picking up a little bit of that gray. You see how I pick up some of that gray? And sometimes it gets too gray, so you need to add a little bit more Tranquil Teal as it starts to get a little too gray. But I'm just going around the perimeter here. This is not the way that this was designed to be used, but I think that it's pretty cool. It's very effective, and it's fun to have it like light in the center like that. And then I'm going to give it some straight on Tranquil Teal right in the center. That pop of bright Tranquil Teal color. Like that. So there, now we have a matching one, and we're going to use both of those in our card today. Because I really was jazzed about that color. Plus, I've got some leftover pattern paper that I made from the other night, and why not use it? I mean, we can make more cards with it, so I love it. Clean that and get rid of that. Okay, so you guys have to try that. Some of our stamp and stencil combos, bundles, well, the stamp and the coloring stencils, you would buy the stamp and die bundle and then the coloring stencil that work nicely with this technique is this one here, which is called Flower Medley. That's the one we're using now. And another one that works really well is the Wishful Flowers, or Wishful Florals. Brienne knows better than I do. So I want to do this layout. Let me find the Master Layouts book again. I want to do this layout here. I love this one. I think it's so pretty. And then we can do a combination of greetings in here. to fill this in. And I was thinking of maybe adding some pattern paper back here too. So we'll see. We'll see what it all looks like. Pattern paper might just be perfect for that, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that too using that Master Layout 7 die. So lots of things to learn today. And I'm learning right along with you because these are just ideas in my crazy brain right now, and we'll see how they translate into real cards, which is so fun. Ooh, forgot to clean this too. So sorry to take time to clean, but you know, if I don't, I'm going to just put my elbow in something or ruin something, and I don't want to ruin anything today. Now let's go ahead and decide how we're going to do this. Let's look at some of those pattern papers that I made last night. So I have this one, which I think is really pretty.
Do you need to do the leaf stems?
Oh yeah, I'll do the, thank you. I'll do the leaf stems. So
Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you, Deborah. The color I had picked was peacock blue, and you'll notice that there are not stems on the one that I just did. Let's zoom in here. Yeah, you got to watch that video if you didn't watch it on the pattern papers. They're so fun. So I'm just going to take this peacock blue and I'm just going to draw a line. Draw a stem there. I'm just going to draw a stem there. Draw one here. And draw one in here. Just have your pencil nice and sharp and don't worry too much if it's not perfect. It's better than horrible. So this is one of the patterns that I made last night. And I also made this one that had a lot more of the beautiful butterscotch. This has butterscotch, but I didn't stamp it very bright. This one may be big enough. Let's see. Can we get... Yes, we can. We can use some of that. And then I really liked the check one that we did. This one, but I don't have enough of that, so we'll have to use something else. How about this one? We'll use some of this. All right. So we're going to use these two patterns. And we're just going to cut that out, just like that. We're going to cut it out with this die from Master Layouts 7. Alrighty. Let's grab the die cutting machine again and back out a bit so we can see how this is done. Whoa! That was a trip.
You know if Wishful Flowers was part of a monthly kit?
It was. I don't know which month, but it was part of a kit. Okay. So I'm going to cut this. We could cut it all out at the same time, but it might get a little tricky, like under here. So let's just cut one at a time, like where it's doubled up. We'll just cut one at a time. And I'm just doing it kind of on an angle like that. I know these were so fun to make and so easy to make. Just using stamps. These are not pattern papers. We made these the other night. Yeah, you have to watch it because it was super fun to make these. And you can do them in all different colors and any colors that you want, which is, you know, it's really fun. Okay, so we have that one. I can trim that down a little bit more to get rid of that. And let's do this one. So we could do... Let's do it right here. Let's do it there so I can trim the other one to work with it, you know. I'll go up a little further. Maybe we could just overlap that. Yeah, we can. All right, so I'm going like right about there. Making sure it's straight. This is like why you don't throw anything out, because you could use every little bit and piece. Like even this little piece that's left over from this one, I mean, that would be a really cool little decorative edge for the side of your envelope, or a little strip going across the center of your paper, you know? So don't throw anything away, especially if you go through all the trouble of hand making it. It's too pretty. Okay, so then I can layer these two together to create a mini slimline pattern. That's going to be perfect. All right. And then I have all my other pieces for this card cut out, so we won't have to worry about die cutting for this. And it'll still have that postage flare, and it'll still have black. It'll be beautiful. Okay, so let's zoom back in. Do we have to go that fast? I don't think we do. Okay. Now we're going to... This one's going to go on the top. Actually, I'm going to trim this down just a little bit more. Just a little bit. So I'm just going to get it on an angle. It doesn't matter if it's perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. However it ends up is how it's going to end up. And that's all that matters. I just wanted it to be a sharp point up there. So we'll put this one down first. And we'll make sure that it's, you know, it's perfect on those three sides. We won't worry about what's going on down here. Okay. So I've got those three looking good. Like that. Now this one, because this is the one that has the nice angle that we want. Oh no, it's a little short. Because I cut it off there, so it's a little short. So, can I put that back? I'm going to put it back. That's going to look like a little space thing. Ooh, I know what I'm going to do. All right, I don't want to waste it. I don't want to throw this whole thing away. So I'm going to use it anyway. And I'm going to line it up so that it works nicely at the bottom and on the side. Like that. And I got to see, is this going to cover it? Oh, it is. Okay. So now I'm going to tack that down. Now, I'm going to go crazy here. I'm going to make this, I'm going to colorize this a little bit with a little bit of butterscotch. I know, that's crazy talk, but I'm gonna do it. So let's get some butterscotch. Nothing is wrong. It's all gonna work out, no matter what. As long as I don't tear it when I pull it off of this, but I'm gonna give it my best. All right, so I'm gonna take a little butterscotch and I'm gonna just give it that butterscotch glow. Because I've got some butterscotch up there in the top part. Let's see how this looks. If it doesn't look good, I can fix it with something else, but I think it's gonna look cool. So now I've got a little spacer going in there. I don't know if I like it. I don't know. But I hate to waste it. I'm going to mute it. I'm going to mute it with some green. Let's not give up. Let's just not give up on it yet, all right? Stick with me. We're not giving up yet. We're going to try some medium spruce on it now.
Boy, we should have a poll for all the ideas of ways you can go that little corner...
With this little snip.
Inspired.
Inspired by the little snip.
Cut a little snip out up top.
Because I can't get enough color on it.
If you cut a little snip out on top, then it would be balanced.
Cut a little snip out on the other side, you mean?
Yeah.
We could. Look at that mess. But I feel like this might do it. I think that's going to look good. You know, it almost gives us that like black look, right? We could do black. We could make it black, but I kind of like this. I'm going with it. I'm not giving up yet. All right, we're going to stick with this because I think this is going to work. This is dark spruce. It's almost black. It's dark enough. It definitely works with the greens that are in here. And we can't give up on this because it's too pretty, right? A black strip definitely would have worked, but this is going to do it. I'm just getting it right in there. There we go. All right. Yes, I love it. Feels like it was meant to be there, right? Right. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop thinking about that, and I'm going to get some of these pieces that I cut out. Now these pieces are also from the same die set. Yeah, it'll lighten up and it coordinates really nicely with the rest of this paper, so I think it's going to look cool. And you know, it's going to get hidden anyway because there's going to be a greeting going on and flowers going on, but I didn't like the butterscotch. I thought I would, but that, you know, it's only paper and you don't have to give up right away. You can struggle just a little longer to see if you can come up with something. Okay, so I'm thinking, this is the layout I'm thinking. I'm thinking we do one of these up here, like this. Just like the layout in the book. One of these up here. I have to line everything up. That was terrible. One of these down here. And then we're going to pop these flowers on there. Okay, so I hate this, and I'll tell you why I hate it. It's not that I hate this layout. I love the layout. What I hate about it is, and you're going to die when I say this, but it's true, it's too much black. It's just too much black. It takes away from the delicateness of this. So what I'm going to do is cut these in white, and then we'll pop it up to create separation. So we're going to cut two of the Master Layouts 11. I know I have it here. Master Layouts 11. I know you're here because that's what we're working on today, right? Here it is. We're going to cut two of those in white. And then, here it is. Then we're going to pop it up to create separation, but we're still going to get that little shadow layer. We could even take it a step further by cutting the white panels out with the opposite pattern paper. So let's just cut these out and we'll see how this looks. I want the postage look. Yeah, I know, way too much black. I know, Tom. It just, you know, it has to be right. It can't be too much. See, black, the reason why I use black on every card is because it's tasteful. It's that little bit of elegance. Little bit of black is so elegant. But I don't like a thick black perimeter around because I think it's too heavy. It's too much and it kind of creates, I don't know, it's not the same to me. Now, here's my other idea. I don't even know that you're going to see it, though. This might just be just enough. We might not even need this piece. We might be able to use just this. And no, we got to have the separation. We need all of the separation in there. We need the 3 pieces. So let me try one thing, and you guys tell me if you like it. If you don't like it, I'll bow out from the idea. But I have another one of those that I made, right? So I'm going to cut one from here. And I'm a little worried because I'm not wearing my glasses, so I don't know if that's straight, but I think it's straight enough. So I might cut one here like this. And I think, just looking at all my patterns over there, but here's what I'm thinking, because I love this pattern paper. Oh, I used the wrong die. No! Well, that might not be bad. Let's see. No, see, that's not what I was going for. That's not the look I was going for. I'm going for white and cutting the plain one, so I grabbed the wrong die. Let me grab the other die. It's not that I can't use it for something else.
So if you've gone too far with the black border
Oh no.
concept, is
I
that
feel words of the day.
is that called blech?
Yeah, I think so. Okay. So
You're really working without a net today.
I am. Well, I always work without a net. See, I feel like that is really pretty. It's delicate, right? And then we lay this on top and we get a little bit of that pattern from the back. And if we put that one down here, we've got the opposite pattern. Let me see, do I have any of that other pattern left? If not, we could just do both the same pattern. Ooh, we have this one we could use. Do I have enough here that I can cut? Sure I do. Ooh, I might be able to use all three patterns. Seriously. I love the patterns. I think I'm going to use this pattern on both of them. This was the little crisscross design that we did with soft stone and with the light sage, the light spruce. And that made, you know, just that soft kind of simple pattern that you see a lot with pattern papers, where you have floral and leafy designs, and then you have these like plain designs that are like stripes or dots or checks. So having the three different ones, oh man, Gloria, you're getting a peek into my head. It is scary in here most of the time. I'm going to use the two plaid ones. These other ones I will keep for other projects. I never worry about cutting things that because I made this the other night, and see, I'm using it. So this is where we're going. Okay. I think we got it. Got two plaids. The die cutting machine's coming back, but don't worry. All right, so now we're going to, yeah, see, that's cute. And it's nice to have it like different, right? Different than the patterns below it. So this is what I'm coming up with from that layout that I showed you in the book. Now I'm thinking if I put one like this, and then I flip the other one around like this so that they're not patterned exactly the same way. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out the UR, and then on a plain strip from the same set, this is the Master Layouts 11 again, I'm going to do UR, and then I'm going to stamp So Very Special or In My Thoughts. You Are In My Thoughts. I think that will be very pretty. So I feel like if we pop some of this up, it gives you that separation. You'll see the pattern papers around the side. Yep, we have a winner. Yay, we have a winner. Okay, now for color, cardstock color. I did white on my last card. I do want to just peek at the teal just to see what that would look like. I think that would be really pretty, and it would bring out some of the little teal speckles in there, the little spatter. And since this is kind of a softer, you know, you're in my thoughts kind of card, I think that we can make it so that, you know, teal is just a nice soft color for it. The other color that would look really nice would be like a gray, because there's a lot of gray in here, but I think we could use a little color. So let's do it. Okay. See, we hung in there. We did our strip. I think the strip is cool. You're going to see a lot less strip once the words get on there, but I think we have a plan. So let's cut our words out first. We'll stamp them and cut them. And then from there we can do our placement, because we need the words before we make the final commitment. So let's just get this piece of cardstock on here. And it's kind of fun. Yo, you definitely could angle the squares, like put them on the diamond like that. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. And they could touch. And that would be really cute too, for sure. You could do all of that. I like that. I like that. Who said that, Tom? Find that person. Who said, can you angle the squares? S. Rogers, there you are. Yes, I like your suggestion, and I think we're going to do that. That's going to take it up another notch. Very good. All right, so you are in my prayers. Now, we could step outside of the box and stamp this in dark spruce, but I think somebody would come in here and haul me away if I did that, if I didn't do some more black on this card. But I like this idea. And I did want to get one more die out of there. I don't know if I'm going to get to my fourth card today, because we've been on for 2 hours already. So I think this might be my last card. Maybe I'll try to do another one down the line and just share it in the group, or share it here on my post tab. But, you know. But you can use all of these little bits and pieces to create these cool, funky little layouts. So, it's a lot of fun. You like the angle? I love the angle. I think that was a great suggestion. There we go. I just happened to look up at the right time and saw S. Rogers' comment. S, I don't know what your first name is, but you, I think you saved the card. I think you made it even better. Maybe he or she will share their first name. Okay, so you are in my thoughts. Let's die cut this. And we can use the die from Master Layouts 11 for this. Or we can use the die that comes in the stamp set that cuts the words out. Either one would work. It doesn't really matter. Whatever you feel like you want to use, but maybe we'll just use the die that comes with it. But you can use either one. And I just wanted to show you that we have a lot of strip sentiments, and I'm sure you guys have tons of strip sentiments in your own collections that will fit on that strip sentiment. Let's see. Is this it? In my thoughts? In my thoughts. There it is. We'll use this die. Just because it's here and I don't have to dig, but it certainly would fit fine on this as well. Okay. There we go, and we'll cut that out. You like the diamond style too, Antha? I know, that was a great idea. Super great idea. Okay. You are in my thoughts. There we go. So let's lay this card out and put it on a card base. And then I'll take high quality photos of the 3 cards that I made today. Remember that you can download the free downloads, the idea sheet for all the cards. Okay. So let's adhere these 2 together, direct. And whatever way you're going to do it, make sure that's how you put your layers down. So if you're going to do it like a diamond pattern, then put your layers down like that. Because it's always going to look more even if you do it that way. I don't know why that is, but it just looks more even when you have it in the right orientation. There we go. Now this, I like when they touch too, when they overlap a little bit. Oh gosh, look at that. No, I gotta show my little stripe thing there that I did because I think it's cute. So we can go to the bottom and the top like that. And then maybe, I don't know, do we even need that stripe thing now? That was such a good save. I hate to not use it, but again, you know, we don't have to. And see, I'm turning these in opposite directions so they don't look too regimented. We might have to have them apart a little bit though, because we need room for the words in the center and we don't want to cover up the flowers completely. So we're going to have "You Are in My Thoughts" here like that, and that's going to be the layout. All right, let's put this aside and we'll cut out the card base. So for a mini slimline, you want to do 6.5 by 6 1/4. So 6.5. That's 6.5. Should be 6.5 by 6 1/4. And then on that 6.5 inch side, you're going to score it at 3 1/4 inches. There's just so many things you can do with these master layouts. That's what's so fun about having them, is they kind of get you started. Like you start to think, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? There we go. Now, just for the sake of this video, which I normally don't do this, but I am going to just put some tape in here and I'm going to tape that shut. I can undo that later. That won't be a problem. So let's get this on here, because once we get this on here, we're going to be able to see a little bit better where we can overlap. We don't want to go outside of the card base, but you know, I think having that, I'm just going nice and slow here so we don't make anybody sick. Okay. So there we go. We're going to lay that there. And then we can have that even up there extending a bit. And down here extending a bit, because that gives us room for our greetings in here. So let's put those, let's pop those up. Why not? It's a good thing we didn't have anywhere to be today, Tom.
Yeah, that always works out.
Right? That looks pretty good. I think having the dimension in there makes a big difference too with popping everything up. I love to pop stuff up. Oh, I'm so glad you like it. Love having a little extension over the edge. That looks good. Okay. So now we're going to put this one this way. I'm going to put this one this way and pop those up too. So I'll just put one in the center to pop that up. That creates some separation. And one in the center to pop this one up. So we'll put this here like that. You can see I flipped them, so this little part and this little part are on opposite sides. Now we're going to pop this up right here in the center. So I need small foam squares. This might sink down just a little bit. I want to see where this goes. So if we put that in there, put that right in the center there. So it'll be even with, yeah, we can kind of like sneak it under there a little bit. Okay. Let's get a couple more of these so we can secure down the sides. I need some more of these. Some more of these little skinny cut ones. I thought about asking ThermoWeb to make like 1/16 of an inch foam squares for me, really tiny ones, but I thought they would fire me. That's too small. They would say, nope, sorry, you're fired. Stop coming up with crazy suggestions. Alrighty. Yes, I know the Pope is more important today than Gina K, which, yes, absolutely. So probably a lot of you are watching on replay. So welcome to those of you watching on the replay.
Are they 1/2 inch and 1/4 inch foam squares?
These are 1/4 inch, and then we have 1/2 inch, yes. So I just want to get enough on here so nothing sinks down. But I need tiny bits. I know a lot of people are watching that. That's a big moment. But I appreciate those of you that are here with us today. We've got a lot of people here. We are glad to see you. Okay, so I'm gonna, this is like precision surgery. I've got to like tuck it under here a little bit. Like that. There we go. I want it to be straight. I want the R to be straight. You are. There we go. That looks good. We'll do that. And then we're going to slip this one like right in here. Let's move this a little bit. You know, it's crazy, right? It's crazy. This is crazy talk, but we can do it. Let's get this in place in my thoughts. All right, we need a few foam squares on here. Could have just taped it right on top, but this card was a doozy. But I think it's my favorite one from today, for sure. I love the color palette, and it's a color palette that, you know, we kind of created on our own, right? Let's get this middle one out. We don't need that. That's the problem. That's the major holdup. So I got to tell you what's coming on Friday, tomorrow night. We will be live on Craft Roulette with Rena. Rena's going to be here, and they are doing like a Mother's Day kind of week. They've been doing like mothers and daughters. And so Rena is going to be here, and she and I are going to be live on Craft Roulette together tomorrow night. That show starts at, I want to say it's like at 6:05 p.m. So what do you think of that? Now for this, you know, I sealed this up, right? So all I have to do is take my mono sand eraser and I can erase that off. So what do you think? Do you guys like this?
Wow.
No, they're not watching the replay yet, but they're going to be watching it later. So I wanted to welcome those people who are watching it later. That's why I said welcome to the replay. All right, so there we go. There are the 3 cards we made. Oh, they're also kind of different, bright, and fun, aren't they? all with Master Layouts 11. And there's so many more things that you can do. So for those of you that have Master Layouts 11, we'd love to see what you do. Please post your cards in our Facebook group and share what you've done with your Master Layouts die set. Or try these layouts. I mean, this one, you know, it's crazy, but it's certainly fun. And these are 2 different ways to do postage. You know, we have that Master Layouts 14 with all the little boxes, but this is a nice way to do bigger postage stamps. You can also cut them apart and make them into separate postage stamps too, if you like this long rectangle shape. So this was so much fun. Now, if you are new to the channel, we would love it if you would give this video a thumbs up. And if, like I said, if you're new, we'd love you as a subscriber. So just hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and you'll never miss another video. And a huge thank you to Brianne Loveland for linking everything. Brianne, thank you so much for that. But if you missed any of her links and you're looking for any of these products, you can always find them on our website at ginakdesigns.com. If you are interested in joining our Facebook group, we would love to have you there. It's called Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. Come on over, answer the security questions, and agree to our rules, and come on in and share your Gina K Designs projects. It's full of inspiration over there. Our members are so talented, and we would love to have you there too. All right, well, we're going to give away a gift card today, a $15 gift card to one lucky winner. So Tom is going to do that. So come on in, Tom. Let's see you. There you are.
Right.
Let's give away a gift card today.
Drum roll, here it comes.
All right.
And the winner today is Karen Cashier. Karen
Yay,
Cashier.
Karen! Congratulations, Karen. You are the winner of today's $15 Gina K Designs gift card. All you have to do is send your name and email address to info@ginakdesigns.com, and we will send your gift card your way. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you'll tune in to Craft Roulette tomorrow night. I'll be sharing the link in the Facebook group and also here on my posts tab on YouTube, so you can find the information there as well. All right, everybody, until then, stay safe and healthy. We love you all so very much, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.